Okay, next we have Department of Water Resources, the Oroville Dam update. And we have a presentation by Joel.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for the invite, and couple tough acts to follow, huh? You go from a lot of cool events to some artwork, and now I got to talk about a spillway at the dam. So, but anyway, thank you for the opportunity. So here's a couple of just pictures of what the spillway on the left looked like before the incident, what it looked like in the middle when we were actually having to use the spillway during the last winter, and then what it looked like not too long ago, I'd say a few weeks back. So the demolition, even though it says continued, is done. So we've done all the demo that's going to be done for this year. There was a lot of blasting that got done a couple days, I think a couple blasts a day for a period. Went pretty well. That's the fastest, most efficient way to really demo a spillway like this with all the concrete and rock, and went pretty well. Kind of a picture right now of the forms and rebar for the structural slabs and walls. So as you can see, those walls are going to be about 25 feet high. And down below, you see the forms for the structural concrete. So when we talk about structural concrete, that's the rebar that's going to go into it and the concrete itself. So they do those in plates like that, slabs, as you can see, and that's been going on for a couple weeks now. Here, just so you can kind of see the magnitude of the walls. I mean, they're going to be pretty tall walls, and a lot of workers up there right now from the local area kind of helping us out with the project. This is on the upper chute, so right above where we had the erosion in that upper part of the spillway. They're doing what's called leveling concrete. So they're placing concrete in there, leveling it all, so they can turn around and put that rebar and the structural concrete over it. So they do it also in forms like that. A lot of heavy equipment that's been going on. As far as completion on the rock excavation, and if I back up a little bit, well, can't see it too well there, but anyway, the rock excavation and the foundation work is about 73% done. Now, if you're not around dams a lot, when you really think about the prep work that they do, it's pretty amazing. They are literally out there with vacuum cleaners. There cannot be any loose rocks, any dirt on the rocks. They have to be really clean in order for the concrete to really stick and be, really strong. So there's literally workers out there vacuum away all the work, getting all the loose stuff. It has to be really good for a strong structural. This is what we call, when we say roller compacted concrete, that middle part right in here. Can't see it. All that gray area in the middle, that's called roller compacted concrete. So different than the structural concrete. That's laid, once they level it off, they put some leveling concrete there, and they can get heavy equipment down there. They start laying out this roller compacted concrete, and it's one of the fastest, most efficient ways to build spillways nowadays and dams. That because of the time we knew, and it's the latest technology, it's the way we're building most of the spillway. So you can see they're laying it, and they filled up this is the second scour hole. So if you remember pictures of the spillway, there's two big holes. One at the very top where the incident started, and then one down below where the water kind of carved into the left. This is the bottom one that's finally been filled in with roller compacted concrete. This shows a picture of towards the bottom of the spillway. Also, those are the anchoring. When we talk about what is it anchored to, so all those things you see sticking out, bars, are them being the concrete being drilled into the rock, into some good rock, and anchoring the spillway down. We say it's 24/7, but they're really working 2 10-hour shifts. You do have to allow some times for shifts to exchange, and also for handoffs between the two groups. But for all intents and purposes, it's 24/7. They're out there working safely, working to get it done by November. Any questions on that? On the actual spillway itself? So the structural concrete, we're about 1%. I mean, we just started laying that structural concrete down about a couple weeks ago. The beginning, it starts off kind of slow as they work the mix has to be the right specs, and they start they get a rhythm going. Then it starts to move a lot faster. The RCC, we're about 9% complete. Any questions on the spillway itself? I mean, we're still moving towards completing November 1st and having a spillway that's usable for next winter. Doesn't mean that work will end up at Oroville. We're going to continue to work on the emergency spillway and other areas there, but any questions so far?
Does council have any questions?
Here is a graph of when we talk about where are we taking the lake down to by November 1st. This is the plan that we had approved by FERC and Division of Safety of Dams that we're following. And if you see that black trace in between the green and the blue, those are the limits we need to stay within. And so right now we're tracking around 774, I think, towards the middle of August. By November 1st, we will be right around 700. So that's the target. Right now, we've been working with the Corps of Engineers on the new flood control graph that'll be similar to this on how we're going to operate for the rest of the winter, for next winter and on, till there's a new spillway. And that we'll be meeting with FERC at the end of this month. We'll have what our new plan is going to be, and then we'll work through the process with them on making sure public safety is the first priority of managing the reservoir, and we'll have another published plan after that. That was all the information I had, but open to any questions. I plan to keep updating you guys as we talked at the community meetings, and I think it's important that you guys know where we're at on the project. So far, everything's going well. The schedule is very aggressive. We're trying to get a lot done in these months between May and November, but I think Kiewit is doing a great job. They're up to the task. I mean, they're a good company, and I think so far we're doing well.
Thank you, Joel. We'll have you come up to the podium. Yeah, because we can't hear anything. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take some questions.
All right.
So my question is, the upper section of where the gates are, that concrete that's there, is that all going to be removed also? Or are they next year? So we're going to tie into that?
Yes.
Okay, that's my question.
Great, thank you. Just wanted to make sure your questions were answered.
And just to add on to that clarification, so this year we did a lot of drilling, bore testing, concrete testing, and the rocks under the slab testing, so that us and FERC could be assured that it was still in good shape to use for this year. So everything turned out good. They had over 100 core drills in there just to verify. But next year, that'll get ripped out and brand new structural concrete placed.
Great. Council have any questions? Nope.
Madam Mayor, just on behalf of City Administration, I'd like to thank Mr. Ledesma for being here this evening. Just so the public knows, he's DWR Deputy Director. Staff has shared with DWR our concerns regarding past communications or lack thereof, and Mr. Ledesma has made the strong commitment to keeping Yuba City in the loop, and I just wanted to share publicly our appreciation for that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, too.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll see you next time.